When Pope Francis was still known as Cardinal Bergoglio, he used to visit the Church of St. Louis of the French to admire these works by Caravaggio. The calling of St. Matthew is his favorite because of its special meaning. Matthew was rejected by the people of Israel since he collected taxes from the Israelites and gave them to the Romans. Yet Jesus saw something in him that the rest did not.
Jesus, who looks at us and who calls us from our weaknesses, sets an example by calling Matthew out of this place where he was, from his collection table, to make him an apostle. The Pope understood this. The Lord does not call the gifted, but gifts those he calls, so they can be at the service of the church.
The motto that Pope Francis chose when he was elected Pope, Miserando ad che eligendo, precisely refers to the Gospel episode of St. Matthew's vocation. He looked at him with a feeling of love and chose him. It reflects a significant message to the Pope, so a workshop in Perugia, a small Italian city, wanted to give him a copy of the painting. Now he has a copy in the Vatican, with the same techniques and colors as the original work. This work is currently in Casa Santa Marta, where the Pope officiates Mass every morning.
What happens when the Lord calls him and he gets up and goes? We do not know. Jesus calling and Matthew saying to himself, "Me?" He must have thought, "Why me if I'm despised and a sinner? I am calling you." I believe this struck the Pope's heart deeply and gave this painting a special religious meaning for him.
And that finger with which Jesus calls Matthew recalls the same gesture of the creation of Adam by Michelangelo in the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican. The message is the same. All people are called to be saints.
The Pope is contemplating this vocation of Matthew daily. He looks at it with eyes of faith that go further and realizes there is a very particular call from the Lord who calls people with mercy.
The Church of St. Louis of the French is the only church in Rome with 3 works by Caravaggio. In addition to the calling of St. Matthew, there is the martyrdom of St. Matthew and the inspiration of St. Matthew. More than 2,000 people visit the church every day and admire the works that were created 4 centuries before.